So I'm starting off with foundation. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Matte, and I've mixed in quite a bit of the Freedom Ghost Whitener because I want it to be quite pale. After all, she is dead. So I just kind of blended this in all over the face. Gave it a really nice kind of, it's almost like a doll, like sort of porcelain sort of colour. So I thought it was quite nice. Next I went on to do my brows. I'm using the Freedom Duo. I think it's called Granite. And all I did here was I used the black, and I did go a little higher on the arch because my brows are very fine from the midsection outwards, so I was able to do a higher arch and just create that quite nice shape. And I wouldn't normally put lips on next, but I put Colourpop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick in LAX on, just because it's a really nice dark vampy colour, which is what I was going for. And I wanted to put that on first because I wasn't sure what eyeshadows I was going to put on, and I just wanted to kind of put the lip colour on first to get an idea of colour. Next I used the eyeshadow from the Freedom Eye Quad, which was the red one, to give me sort of very dolly sort of cheeks. Almost as if you kind of pinched your cheeks, which I thought was quite pretty. And I'm just using a Real Techniques blush brush to do that. And that eyeshadow was from the Vamp kit, I believe. Yeah, it was the Vamp kit. Then I used the Ghost powder, which is Makeup Revolution, and I just dusted that all over the face with a Real Techniques powder brush, before going on with the blush brush to put on some Sephora contour. I wanted to add some shape to my face, and this is a nice cool tone sort of colour. And I just blended that into the blush. I went on to use the Ghost Sculpt from Makeup Revolution, and I just added in some black there, and I just contoured a little with black just towards the back end of the cheekbone. I didn't take it all the way down, I just wanted to add a bit more darkness to the look. Then I went on to use MAC's Sketch eyeshadow. I've got this on a kind of domed blending brush, and I'm putting it into the crease and then bringing it down to the outer eye corner. Taking time to blend backwards and forwards, building up the colour. Then I went on to use the red eyeshadow, just taking that on the edge of that sketch colour. I love the burgundy and the red together, thought it was quite a nice colour match. And I like that bit of a kind of a bright red just peeking out of the edge of that shadow almost. And I'm just trying to get them even at this point because I've got visual problems and I can't always get my eyes even. Next I took this Sigma brush, which is kind of like a mini pencil brush, and I ran the Sketch MAC eyeshadow underneath the eyes, all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. Then taking a slightly more fluffy brush from Zoeva, I took the bright red and ran that along underneath, blended out that darker colour, and I just added that touch of red. Next I took Sugar Pills Bulletproof eyeshadow, which is one of the most intense blacks ever, and I just put that all across the lid with a Zoeva, I think it's a cream shadow brush. Just quite nice for putting down colours if they're a little bit powdery. You just get less fallout because you're kind of just pressing it onto the lid. And I put that all across the lid up to the crease. And then with that same black on a fluffy blending brush, I just blended out the edge of the black so I didn't get any kind of harsh lines and blended it into Sketch. Then I took a black liner, this is the Pixie one that was in the Tilly box from QVC. I lined the upper lash line and the waterline, which I pretty much do on every look, but I really like the drama of that. Then I took some of the white Ghost powder and just did a little bit on the inner eye corners, and just kind of to tidy the edges of the shadows before applying some mascara. With that done, I went on to apply some highlight. This is one of the highlight colours from the Ghost Stories FX kit by Freedom, and it's a really nice, unusual kind of highlight. And as you can see, it's like not too in your face, it's not too kind of out there. It just provides a little bit of a kind of glow on the cheekbones, and I really liked it. I thought it was kind of ethereal but not too in your face. Next I went on to draw on the headband. I decided to do this rather than put one on because you might not have the headband and you'd have to buy it, whereas you've got the makeup, so why not just use the makeup to create it. So I just drew that on with the Sigma SFX bent liner brush from the SFX kit. I think I even just said that. And then I used the larger brush to fill it in, and I just used the black from the Freedom SFX Ghost Stories kit. Just filled in that band nicely, and then just worked towards getting it kind of even. It doesn't matter if it's slightly strange or it gets wider at one end, just kind of as long as it kind of runs almost straight along the forehead above the brows. That's it, halfway done. Kind of looks a bit strange until you get it all done, but I think it looked really great once you got the wig on. And then I did a kind of detail circle with like a funny sort of oval coming from it. And I used the Colourpop liquid lipstick again in LAX and filled in that, just so you had the uniformity of the colour of the lips and the jewel on the headband. And I liked how that looked. I thought it wasn't too obvious. I put some little loops around the edge of the taller colour. And then I added kind of a triangle sort of shape at the top, which made it look more like a small feather. I thought it looked pretty. Then I went on to use the black cream colour from the Freedom Ghost Stories kit again, and I just drew on with the same Sigma SFX bent liner brush a few little lashes on the lower lash line, just to kind of create that very sort of dolly eye sort of look. I then decided I was going to make the lips just a little bit more, I don't know, I want to say cartoony, but not really. I just wanted them to stand out a bit more and just like look a little bit more sort of arty rather than just standard lips. So I used the same black eyeliner from Pixie and I drew a black line all the way around my lips and I made them bigger. So I overlined and it actually looked really nice. Just exaggerated the shape and then added a tiny little sort of, almost like a flick at the end of the corners of the lips, which gave you kind of quite a nice sort of smiley effect even if you weren't smiling. I really liked the shape of that. I thought it was really pretty, just kind of bringing out those corners. And my daughter just thought my lips were amazing in this look. She was like, oh my goodness, you look so different. And then I just added on a little beauty mark because it was quite common for women. It's still quite common for women to draw on beauty marks. We always want what we haven't got. Anyway, that's the wig on. It's just a wig from B&M. It's quite cheap. I apologise, the fringe was a bit tucked in there. I hadn't realised. But I just cut this down. It was actually a mid-length wig. It's not the best quality. I just wanted one that I could cut. And then I added on this black lip gloss, which is from MAC. Just added a bit more drama, but it added a little bit of shine as well. And that is basically the finished makeup look.